Okay, we're back. Part two, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Two Peas and Podcast. Jojo, my very, very good friend,
And we're
and
back.
and myself, Maddie. Um, so I'm just looking through stuff. Did you have something you wanted to talk about right away?
No, go ahead.
Uh, I've got tunnels
New
confirmed
stuff.
in the Epstein files.
Yeah, we had to hit that one hard. Well, hey, while you're looking though, what I do want to say is I just want to send out a shout out to all the Patriots lately who kind of reached out and checked on me. I am doing okay. It's been kind of crazy around here, but I should be on Facebook soon again. So, anybody else wondering out there, I promise I will be back and I love you guys so much. All right. Go ahead. I had to get that
Yeah,
out.
I love you guys here. The hilarious thing is no one's going to hear that until you get back on Facebook because
I
nobody's watching us on YouTube,
oh,
which is probably a good thing.
well,
I'm not
they'll
gonna
hear it.
I'm not gonna lie.
They'll hear it. We love you guys so much.
Our four viewers.
Yeah, well, hey, four is better than nothing.
Well, I think it might just be me and you, and then
Maybe
Star.
Star. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Tara checks in once in a while.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So I don't know. We could stay on Epstein. We could talk about my dream the other night. We could talk about Laura Silsby, Haiti. Shoot, we could talk about almost anything.
well,
Um,
why don't you dive into your dream?
Rick Wiles. Oh, my dream. Okay, so some dreams are real. They're so vivid and real that they have to be real, like it's in a different dimension or something. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
and we've
and this is one of them.
we've kind of always talked about how reality.
The dream world is real.
Yeah, the dream world might be reality, and reality might be the dream world.
I know. That's what's weird. I don't. Yeah, it's the dream world has no organization either. I think that's why it's such an aversion for like the third world. I mean, the third dimensional people like us that are just like, but we're not in the third dimension. This is just a part of us. We're like multidimensional beings.
Right.
So as soon as you go, well, okay, I'm not in the third dimension. Yes, I am, but I'm actually this like drop of God, right? And you can be in any dimension you want, but if you just focus on like fourth or fifth dimension, you can just be there and see things a lot differently.
Oh, it is.
We just got to remind ourselves.
Third dimension is no fun. You gotta hire up.
That's pretty fun, but
I
yeah.
Yep.
Well, you can create stuff for you can manifest stuff in the third dimension if you make it happen like the fourth or fifth dimension because it'll like it like cascades down into your timeline in your third dimension.
Oh,
I firmly believe that.
I do too.
Yes. Oh, I was going to tell you about a spiritual practice I started doing, and I instantaneously did see some change.
Oh,
It's called Praka. Proc. No, I just said it wrong. Proc.
okay.
P-R-A-K. And it means light. And I was watching this video where it said that Jesus said to use that word.
Okay.
And then so it was saying, and then it said, don't use it as a mantra. Just use it as like literally, you are light. It explained the whole thing where like you got to really get out of your third dimension, just be like, I'm light. And then immediately the archons that are like siphoning loose off you can't do it anymore because they can't handle that kind of
Oh,
frequency. And it was really trippy. I didn't mean to kind of go sideways on this, but like if you stay up for 3 days, and I won't tell you why I was staying up for 3 days, but the 72 hour, I believe, is the mark. Right? Okay, this is from past experience, ladies and gentlemen. It's not from, but I just wanted to get this out there because, it's also got something to do with fasting. And I didn't realize, like unfortunately, I've had a checkered past, and the way okay, so it's basically this guy like that was like on meth, and he came to Jesus, he came to Christ, and was like, dude, meth is like a doorway that opens yourself up to demonic influences or demons, basically.
mm-hmm.
And it's not meth. It's all these different drugs, opens up doors for all kinds of different beings and stuff that are out there and stuff. And basically what it is they're feeding on your energy.
Yep.
Imagine like if you get high or whatever it is and do something like that, especially like uppers, because they're basically throwing your chi off the chart. It's not controlled. So what it is like a beacon. Imagine like a foggy night, and all of a sudden, a huge beam of light comes out. Well, they all know that you're on drugs. They all know that you're getting high, and and that you're not in control. And now they can control you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some other things. It's about the fasting, and anyway. So after 3 days, you can see through the veil, and I didn't realize this. I had to find out the hard way, and so I told you about this where I could hear. So I was told a long time ago that like the creaking of a house is very, very rare. The house settling, that's not what's going on. That those are spirits coming and going in and out, and it's making a noise through your, this is going so wild, but it's making a noise through the physical reality of your walls and your ceilings and that sort of thing.
Oh.
So yeah, and so after 72 hours, I tested this quite a bit, and then I stopped doing it, and I don't do any of that anymore. But 72 hours, immediately start seeing through the veil if you don't sleep.
Wow.
And and it's the same with soldiers. The soldiers still saying the same thing. So I could hear the ceiling creaking so much. I was like, this is abnormal. Even in that state of mind, I was like, this is abnormal. And I started seeing, because I had this deathly fear for some strange reason of fiber optics. And we know that fiber optics is a science that was created from Roswell, from the downed spacecraft, or whatever you want to call that, the UFO that they found. And they created the entire industry of fiber optics from UFO retrievals. I don't know if you knew that, but you can go search that out. And I was definitely afraid of fiber optics, that like people were watching me, because I was ashamed of the crap that I was, of who I was, what was going on. And it was at this one particular moment in time, I realized that there was fiber optics coming down through the ceiling. I could see them. I could see them, Joe. And it would also be at the same exact time that I would hear the house settling, creaking right there. Like,
Wow.
so it was coming through the ceiling. And then I went, did I tell you the story before?
I said that.
And then, oh, go ahead, sorry.
I just said that's crazy.
Yeah. And then I went into the backyard, and I could perceive that there were creatures in the backyard. And they looked like, well, one of them looked like, some of them looked like humans, sort of, like they had 2 legs and two arms. But this one guy, I called him Blobby, he looked like a big amoeba. And he had a cowboy hat on. I'm telling you, I saw this, right?
Oh my gosh.
And you could just brush this off as like, okay, this is nothing. But then it gets back into this video I just saw where like of trying to get rid of these archons that are feeding off you. And we know that they are feeding on us, right? The loose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why everything is like so emotional, because they feed on like you're super high and they feed off your super low.
Yes, they
Right?
do.
All those emotions.
Yep.
And they attach to you, and they always attach to you, usually in your lower chakras, and they attach to you from behind, so you can never see them. And okay, so it just gets crazy. So there's like videos. There's one specific video of this guy that was like losing it on a bus, like kind of like screaming and like moving around and stuff. And in the video, you can see another person, creature, behind him, just behind him. As he moves his head really quick, the other head stays there, and then it moves out of the way really quick because it doesn't want to be seen. Because they know when they're being filmed. They know when you're looking. They can see your field of vision, so they know where you're looking. So they're always hiding from you. And they always hide behind you. That's why if you take a camera and you put it in like selfie mode, a lot of times people will film stuff behind them.
Oh, wow.
This is all going on, right? And so the archons are attaching to you with these filaments that I thought were fiber optics, and they kind of run the same thing. This is where it gets crazy. So I changed my entire life. I started doing all the spiritual practice, right? And I find myself in a Reiki, doing Reiki with my friend Kelly. She's got a small office here in town. She calls me up one day. She goes, "Come down here because I'd already been talking about this with her during Reiki, right? I told her about Blobby.
Yeah.
I told her I've seen this guy a couple times, and he's friendly to me, but he keeps putting filaments down inside my wall. And I mean, this is like crazy talk, right? Okay, so I told her all this stuff. I'm trying to like change my life. She goes, "You better come down here. Check this out." So she had just opened her office in the morning. So I came down there and she goes, "Look at this." And so behind her desk on the wall facing me, where I would be looking at eye level, was a tiny, tiny hole, the same size of the filaments that I was seeing, right? And on the floor was a tiny piece of chipped out plaster.
Wow.
And and you know I'm like a builder, right? So I kind of know what I'm talking about. So I'm looking in the hole. What had happened was you could see the drill marks come from inside the wall, and as it got towards the end, it blew out the hole. As that happens, this happens when you drill stuff, with energy, it would blow out the last little bit. So it's boring a hole, and then it blew out the last tiny bit, and that little bit was sitting on the ground. The other office was closed over the weekend, so no one was in that office, nor was there a corresponding hole on the other side, which is only 3.5, 4 inches, right? It's a 2 by 4 wall between the two offices. So basically, somebody drilled a hole from the inside of the wall out into the office area at the exact eye height where I was sitting talking to her the day before about what I just was telling her, that they're filaments and fiber optics coming through the wall. They're spiritual beings.
Wow.
And then there were also another corresponding hole in the bathroom wall exactly perpendicular to my left, which is exactly at the same, almost at the same eye height, looking straight down to where I was, and there was a hole there too.
Oh my.
And and the offices were closed,
How?
and there were no corresponding holes on the other side of these walls, and in other words, making it impossible to drill a hole.
Right.
And we never did. There's no other answer to why there would be these two like 1/8 inch holes.
That is crazy.
That's a crazy story. That's one of many stories that I've had. But anyway, okay, getting back to my dream the other night. So some dreams are very, very real. This one was super real. I find myself on top of this really high, like sort of walkway, and there was even planters there, like cement planters and stuff.
Yeah.
And I could see out over the railing, and there was like a lake, sort of like a pond or whatever. I thought I was golfing at first in the dream, but it was just a lake, I guess. And so the dream starts with me just looking out, and there's a bunch of people just kind of milling about, and all of a sudden these missiles come flying out over this building, and there's just hundreds of missiles in the sky, and I'm like, oh, the end is here now. But I have no fear. I'm just like, oh, we're done. We're doomed. Something major is going on, right? In other words, but I was looking at them, like, wait a second, they're not moving right. They're moving way slower than they should be. And then some of these missiles now drop down in the water in front of me. For what reason, I have no idea why this is going on. And I'm waiting for a big explosion, but nothing ever happened. And they weren't moving right. So they were like moving like they were totally controlled and slow. And so I'm like, and my friends there with me, and there was like a little girl there with me, and there was like some people milling about, and we're all like just amazed at like the shower of missiles that are coming down. And I look to my right, and there's a huge building, and then there's another huge building behind it, and the other huge building's almost like a silo, and there's these two gigantic freaking sort of holes or portals in the thing. I have no idea why they're there, but here comes this gigantic ballistic missile slowly rising out of behind this building, And you can just think this is my imagination. I have no idea, and another craft comes out. So the other craft looks like two balls, and inside the balls you could see that there was liquid in it, and it was sloshing around. And so the ballistic missile goes off at an incredibly slow rate, like more than it's obviously not being launched. It's being so basically what they're showing me is like these things are being powered by anti-gravity. They're not, it's not being powered by momentum.
Yeah.
They're not getting launched. It's just moving. And then the two ball craft, both craft look like industrial craft. It was weird. But the two ball craft goes up and makes this incredible like aerial dynamical move in the air. Like it turned and morphed like and lined up with the holes inside this silo, and then it moves slowly into these holes. And I go, oh, it's designed to do that. I go, but in my dream, it was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. And I look over, and that ballistic missile had turned around and come down. Now it's hovering in front of us, and we were all amazed. Like it was incredible. There was a child there. I wasn't scared at all. Like I was at first, I was like, "Are we going to get like hurt because this craft is putting off energy?" But it was like, no, it's safe, and it was hovering right in front of us on the walkway. So we went over there, and we were touching it, and I can remember touching it, and it was like this really dull metal. It was almost like a lead. And I look up, and now this is what made it really like significant because I'm never shown faces. Like when they show a face, that's like I don't know, for some reason that's really significant. And I could see the face of the pilot,
Wow.
and he was like looking at us. It was a trip, and we were like waving and saluting to him. And then I woke up, and I didn't remember any of that dream. And then something triggered, and the whole dream came back to me, like they gave it back to me. I don't know.
That's
I had to just tell you about it. It was incredible.
yes, that's so vivid.
It was I've never dreamed about UFOs.
That's crazy.
Well, no, I do. One time, I was also shown the black. I was on a different planet, I guess, or somewhere, and they showed me the Black Knight. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
The Black Knight is some ancient UFO that's parked supposedly out on our atmosphere somewhere. If you believe that there's a planet, I don't know, but it showed up, and it was like hovering in front of me exactly the same way as this thing was hovering in front of me. And I could see that it was a shape-shifting craft. It could like morph like into different designs. That's what they showed me. It was interesting.
Wow.
I firmly believe these things though.
Oh yeah.
Like they're real. It's very, very real. I don't know how to describe that. The listeners who probably listening to this probably like, okay, well that was a little out of control there, but I'm telling you, it's very real. And the other thing is, the reason they keep happening is I don't dismiss them. I trust them. I trust every hallucination. I trust every dream, everything I've seen in real life, and or under the influence of something. I don't dismiss it at all
Yeah.
because to do that would be to dishonor it.
Right.
And then and they would also rescind their with their information and their contact, which I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
I can tell you about the Fairy Queen. Can I tell you about her?
I think you have. Yeah. Go ahead.
The Fairy Queen, you want to hear about that?
Sure.
So we ate some fungi, and I was relieving myself in the backyard in this in this orange tree, and I never see things like this. But this portal opened up in front of me inside the orange tree because trees are portals, right? But it was I don't know how to explain it. It just happened right there in front of me, and this portal was like looking inside a window, but the window is made of green faceted glass, so it was like looking through a gem, like an emerald.
Huh.
And on the other side was the Fairy Queen. She was about 4 or 5 feet tall. Like beautiful, but she also was faceted. So she had like it wasn't totally round shaped. She had like lines like that. In this vision. basically, I was like, oh, this is how they are. This is just the way they are shaped. But other than that, she looked like, human. She's very beautiful, very regal, and she had a scepter, and she was standing there. She had a crown, and she's like sitting there beaming like just love and like friendliness to me. I don't know how to describe. It was the most incredible thing. But behind her was a jester, and there was like other people in her court that were standing like kind of hiding behind her, but they could see me too.
Oh,
And this was going on for, and let me tell you, like I said, it's very significant when if they show you a face. They don't normally will show you a face. So I was like freaking out, but also at the same time like super like intrigued, like fascinated. I considered her my friend. It was just we're beaming friendship back and forth to each other
right.
through this green faceted glass. And then I looked up into the clouds and I could just see the ships in the clouds. There's hundreds of them. And then that's when I knew. I go, dude, they are here like all the time, every day, every moment of every day. So everything that we do, they're watching everything.
Oh, sure. Yep.
And I went and sat down next to my friend, and I was just like, oh my God, like I just had the craziest experience right there. Like, and he's a normie. And actually now he understands all this sort of stuff. Like I kind of brought him into this world by accident, but he's like, yeah, anyway, I was just like, they are like all around us right now. And it was tripping me out.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, but then I found out years later and that's not the only portal I've seen like that. I could tell you another story about a portal, but they are all around us, and I believe in the fairy kingdom now. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and there's just no denying it. And it's just interesting stuff. People that take DMT and ayahuasca,
Hmm.
they talk about how the beings on the other side are faceted.
Yeah.
They and I I never even heard about that until after this experience.
See, that's why I've
So
always wanted to try ayahuasca. I wanted to try it at least once.
that's a gnarly trip. I don't know if I could do that. That's a real.
They say it's life changing. So,
Oh, totally. I don't know if I would choose that to be my first sort of psychonautic adventure.
see, not me. I'm go big or go home. Just let's go.
I don't know if you've never done it. It's pretty radical. I'm talking. But it could also heal you too. It's incredible because you're so in control of the molecules of your body that you can like